Cyberpunk 2077's massive 2.0 update may be dropping in just 2 days. Earlier today, CDPR announced that Night City Wire is coming back, perhaps for its final episode ever. This Thursday, September 14th, CDPR will be streaming the new Night City Wire live on both YouTube and Twitch, and during this they described talking about new radios, learning more about Solomon Reed, and learning this from Idris Elba himself, so likely he will have a segment during the stream, and overall they're going to talk about gameplay and some of the new abilities coming with the expansion. So it'll be a pretty cool new deep dive into Phantom Liberty, giving us some updates and previews of what's to come. Although they also mentioned that there's going to be a surprise or two, and I suspect what is happening here is patch 2.0 will be dropping for Cyberpunk 2077 right after the stream. But I mean, yeah, they literally said a surprise or two. Definitely seems like this is a reference to patch 2.0. This entire patch 2.0 scenario is a bit of a bizarre one. Basically, patch 2.0 is a near comprehensive overhaul for Cyberpunk 2077, and this is of course going to be a totally free update for the game that is completely separate from Phantom Liberty. With patch 2.0, CDPR is increasing the system requirements for PC users. So as such, they legally must give you a 90-day notice that the game's going to be harder to run, because for a fair few out there, you might own Cyberpunk and all of a sudden your PC is no longer within the minimum system requirements. Or at least after this update, your PC will no longer be in the minimum system requirements. So CDPR gave out a 90-day notice, and that 90-day notice was given 91 days ago. So we just entered into the window where patch 2.0 could finally release legally. And CDPR has on several occasions in the past surprise dropped new updates for Cyberpunk immediately after a stream. Most of the time this was done immediately after a red stream, and based off this track record, it seems very likely that patch 2.0 could be dropping immediately after this Night City Wire stream on Thursday. And at the very least, we'll almost certainly be getting a release date for patch 2.0 there. We have had it confirmed that this update is dropping before Phantom Liberty, patch 2.0 drops before the expansion, but also that this week a release date for the update would be shared. Phantom Liberty is 2 weeks away, and this update has to drop at some point before that, so of course given the tweet, given their past track record, this Thursday seems like the most obvious candidate. But at worst, even if it doesn't drop on Thursday, we'll get a release date then, and if anything, I wouldn't be shocked if early next week is the release date at the absolute latest. And with this in mind, prepare your game, whether this be backing things up if you have a ton of mods installed, because I bet nearly all of those are about to break once this update goes live, or if you're going to be starting a new playthrough with Phantom Liberty, perhaps say a nice goodbye to your favorite characters. But you don't need to do that necessarily. CDPR recognizes that a lot of fans are going to be returning with old characters when it comes for this new expansion and update, and there's actually systems being set up to aid this. It's been confirmed that there's going to be a one-time option to reset all of your attribute points once this update drops. The entire skill system is getting reworked, so CDPR is giving you that one-time opportunity to fully start fresh. All of the perks are already resettable, and even with patch 2.0, you'll be able to reset your perks at any given time. So pick a perk, and then if you don't like it, you could just reset that point and spend it elsewhere. But perhaps you're tired of your old character and you really just want to start fresh. Well, CDPR has also described a new start option with Phantom Liberty. So as you're creating a character, you're going to be able to skip far enough into the game to experience the new story content right away. Although honestly, I think the best way to experience this is start a new playthrough once patch 2.0 drops and get far enough into the game that a week or a week and a half later, you're ready for Phantom Liberty. It's been confirmed you need to pass this Voodoo Boys quest in order for Phantom Liberty to kick off. Because yeah, even before Phantom Liberty, with just update 2.0, Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a massive overhaul. Recently, CDPR shared this great breakdown of which features will be a part of update 2.0 compared to which are a part of Phantom Liberty, basically giving us a preview of what are going to be paid versus free features on the horizon. And some of these free features will still be massive in gameplay terms. The redesigned skills and perks are a huge one. CDPR shared quite a bit about this during their last red stream. So after patch 2.0, perks in Cyberpunk are going to have a clear focus on adding in new abilities to your character as opposed to just being stat bonuses. Patch 2.0 will have a lot of new and unique mechanics that you can use and abuse in gameplay. The Cyberware Overhaul is also going to be a free addition. Cyberware will now have capacity limits, which can be boosted up with perks, but Cyberware will also act as your armor now, so most clothing in the game will be purely for looks, while Cyberware is how you truly protect yourself. But what I think will end up being the two biggest new features that users are going to want to mess with once this update ships is the police rework and vehicle combat. As you get wanted now, police will show up in vehicles with enhanced AI. You can get into full-scale car chases, and police will even attack you while you're on the move. This could be via vehicles with built-in weapons, just police shooting out the window, or even setting up things like roadblocks to stop you. All the while, you'll have some vehicle weaponry of your own to use. You could fire out of your own car, or alternatively switch to built-in weapons for your vehicles, although it does seem like these missile launchers will be a Phantom Liberty exclusive feature, but there'll also be some new functionality giving you the ability to hack other cars in Night City, which just sounds absolutely epic. And if you do make it all the way up to 5 stars, the new max tack are going to be a true mini boss fight now. Although another free feature that I think a lot of people are missing is the new radio stations. With patch 2.0, we're getting a new radio station hosted by Sasha Gray, and all of the music created for this one came from the community contest. I'm really excited to finally hear the new host as well as all of the new tracks that have been added, and right now it's basically like we're getting 2 waves of new content for Cyberpunk. Update 2.0 likely dropping in the next couple of days or even early next week, but then a week or so later you'll also get Phantom Liberty dropping with all of its glory and a second wave of new features, but of course also the full-fledged new questline and district to explore. It certainly is an odd launch strategy to have these 2 major content drops releasing about a week apart, but at the same time, with how much content we're getting, I kind of understand the reasoning. It really does seem like patch 2.0 is going to have more than enough content to keep us occupied for a week until the expansion gets here. But perhaps you're still on the fence with Phantom Liberty. And I mean, hey, if you haven't purchased the expansion yet, you can get it on GOG using my affiliate link down below. But maybe save that link, as we have also heard during the recent earnings call that reviewers will be getting access to Phantom Liberty right around now. We could see on SteamDB that a press branch for the expansion is available, and this was seemingly updated around a week ago, which is likely around when the first code started going out. And I wouldn't be shocked if some major outlets are reviewing the expansion as we speak, which should give you the opportunity to be an informed consumer ahead of the expansion's release, which is always good. With the original release of Cyberpunk, CDPR had this really bizarre and short review window, but we're still several weeks out from Phantom Liberty and seemingly reviews are being started, so that's a really good sign. Although make sure you actually are ready for all of this. Another member of CDPR did issue a warning on Twitter that you should check the conditions of your PC's cooling system before this update and expansion drops. They describe how this new update is going to actually use all your PC has to offer, and using 90% of your 8-core CPU is fully expected here. It seems like those raised system requirements for patch 2.0 are no joke, and if you no longer meet the minimum requirements, now is definitely the time for a PC upgrade if you want to be playing on release day. But even beyond all of that, we have gotten new details and gameplay of Phantom Liberty even now. CDPR has been dropping these short clips of Phantom Liberty very nicely edited together, but we also have it confirmed that Lizzie Wizzy will seemingly be a part of Phantom Liberty in a fairly major way. CDPR just shared this special headgear that Lizzie Wizzy is going to use in-game. If you're not familiar, Lizzie Wizzy is a musical artist and one of the most famous people in all of Night City, and I'm honestly pretty hyped that we will seemingly be meeting them more properly in Phantom Liberty, and I personally hope that this headgear is going to be lootable from her corpse. But Cyberpunk 2077 itself just crossed a monumental milestone with over 500,000 positive reviews on Steam, which if you look back at where things began for this game to where we are now, just 2 weeks out from the final chapter of it, it's pretty surreal to see. This game's been a complete roller coaster to cover, and it's honestly remarkable to think about the turnaround CDPR was able to produce here. And with that in mind, get subscribed. I'll have full coverage of all of the new details we learn about the updates and the game shortly, as I sacrifice all of my sleep to cover Cyberpunk and Starfield in tandem. But speaking of that, check out this video where I go over the top 10 mods available for Cyberpunk 2077 right now, so perhaps you can get a few cool experiences in right before the update breaks them all.